Hi everybody, this is Mrs. Ellsworth. What we're going to be talking about is expressions again, but we're going to crank this one up a little bit more. So let's try and remember what we do know already. Okay, these are our expressions. We're not going to go and figure out what they are, but we're saying that 3 times 5. Remember, inside of parentheses, that's touching the parentheses, that means that we're multiplying it. So 3 times 5, that's just an expression, just like 7 plus 8 is also. Okay, what if we go and change this a little bit? We say it's 3 times 5x or 3 times 5x's. Okay, that's an expression also. It's just cranked up a little bit. How? Because I want to put a letter x in there, a variable. Okay, instead of 7 plus 8, now we've got 7c's plus 8d's. Okay, we can't add these two things together anymore than this. It's no different than saying something else here. I'll show you here in just a moment. This is no different than saying, hey, I've got 3 people. Each of them are holding 5 files. How many papers? Well, we'd have to figure out how many papers each file. I mean, if they all held the same amount, like then we could go and insert. If they found out that, hey, each file contains 10 papers, then we could go and figure that all out by inserting 10 into the x there. Okay, you know, like I said, 7 plus 8, you could add those together, but these things are different critters when you add them. Okay, it's like saying I've got 7 cats plus 7 dogs. You could say, how many animals do you have? Well, you have 7 cats and 8 dogs. Okay, but these are expressions. Okay, these ones are expressions too, but these ones are of special name. They're called an algebraic expression because they have variables in them. So this c right here is a variable. This c is a sorry, the c is a variable. The d is a variable. They're letters. That's a variable. Okay, and they could change. They change. That's why they vary. They're a variable. So that means I could tell you that d equals 5 for one problem, and another problem I could tell you that d equals 10. Okay, so these variables, once we start adding them into it, it's an algebraic expression. And I know this much. I know that in 7th grade, some kids, they are not freaked out by the word algebraic or algebra. Oh dear, what's happening here? Hang on. Okay, they're not freaking out with that. Anyway, so to continue here, my screen thing is not working right, so I'm going to try to continue. So here's an algebraic expression. Now what is that? That is an expression with variables, numbers, and operations. So the 7c has got numbers, it's got variables, and it's got operations. Okay, so that makes an algebraic expression. When it was just those other expressions we were talking about, were numeric expressions. They just had numbers, numeric. Okay, so there's those variables. Do you need to write down that those are variables? Write that down in your notes because students forget that. And maybe you should even go write down on your terms. Remember, we're supposed to have a sheet of terms in the front of our notebooks. What is a variable? It's the letters in an expression. Okay, those things in front are called coefficients. So the numbers that's always placed in front of a variable is called a coefficient. Okay, so let's evaluate these. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to evaluate this by substituting whatever variable that's in our problem. We're going to substitute the value for that variable. So in this case, we've got an h, and h equals 10. Okay, so we'll say we got, let me get a pen here. So we've got 10 for h, okay, plus, and then okay, so there's our 10, plus, and then a 15. Okay, and now evaluate means to go ahead and simplify and do it. So we don't leave it as just an expression there, a numerical expression. We keep going. We'll just say 25. And 25 will be our answer. Okay, so that's number 5 on your homework. Okay, look at this. GH over J. Whenever you've got two variables that are like this, and this is important, whenever you've got two variables that are right next to each other, it does not mean that you are just putting in two numbers, that these are placeholders. Lots of students think that this means 60. Oh, 10, that one too. If it would have been G and J together, they might have thought that, hey, that was 65, but no, it's multiplying. It's always multiplying when you've got two letters, two variables right next to each other. So G stands for 6. Okay, so it's going to be 6 for G, and then H has got 10. Okay, so that's good. We got the numerator done, and then we got J on the bottom, which is just 5. Okay, so we've got 60 over 5, and don't forget to keep on going with this. This means divide. That line means divide, right? And so that will mean that this answer is 12, because 60 divided by 5 is 12. Okay. If you have questions about this one here, because this one's got some extra things going on, you're multiplying on top, and then you've got some division going on here, don't forget to ask me at the beginning of class tomorrow. Okay, here's another one. Okay, 1 pint of liquid is the same as 16 fluid ounces. So that means that 1 pint equals 16 ounces, right? Okay, suppose the number of pints of liquid is represented with a P, so P represents pints. Okay, write an expression to find the number of fluid ounces. So we're going to take 16, the number of ounces in a pint, and we'll take it times P. So if somebody tells you that you've got 3 pints, you take that times 16 to figure out the total ounces. Okay, to find the total number of fluid ounces. Okay, so this right here is our expression, our algebraic expression for. Okay, and so the very first one asks us, letter B asks you, how many fluid ounces would there be in 5 pints? So we'll go and we'll insert 5 into P. So we've got 16 times P. Okay, and the answer to that is, oops, I don't have it there. Well, let's figure that out. We got 16 times 5. Okay, and I got 30 for that, so 0, put a 3 on top of here. And so now I've got 5 times 1 is 5, plus 3 more is 80. So our answer for this one is just 80. 5 times 16 is 80. We substitute 5 in for P, so it's 5 times 16. This means the total number of ounces on here. I wonder if I should have a unit on that. OZ. How many fluid ounces are in 5 pints? Boy, it's a good thing I read that at the very last second, because that catches me sometimes. This is definitely the answer. Okay. Okay, next one. Here are our problems. It's on page 16. We're doing 5 through 11. So it's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, where you're just evaluating. And then we've got 22, 23, 26, 27, 28, 28, and 30. And then you've got 2 extra credits. I'm requesting that you please set up your piece of paper like this. Set up so that you've got, either 15 or 12 problems on one page, and write down your assignment right now. And we will complete this in class tomorrow. It's on page 16. It's lesson 1-3. It's so nice when you go and label this. It also helps Mrs. Legou and I for helping us figure out who we're talking to, because with your masks on, it's a little bit harder to recognize who our students are and learn names. So I'm asking you to help us out that way. And then set it up on a grid like this. And I noticed that a lot of you are doing that very well. But some people like just listing all the numbers right here, then having their work randomly shown over here somewhere. So I would like to see your work with your answer so I can figure out where your issue is with it. And I haven't made a big huge case out of that, but I would like you to try and start doing that. And again, I know that lots of you guys like putting your numbers right in there, but please just go and draw a grid on your piece of paper, okay, and then put the numbers in there going horizontally, and that'll work wonderful. That way we can help you our best. And then when you do this, go ahead and circle your numbers that are extra credit. That's great. And then you can work on all of them. Okay? Well, I will see you tomorrow.